Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to do a cell phone wristlet, one with cording and the attachment that goes to the base part of your cell phone, and then that's wired with pearls. So excited to show you how to do this fun project and personalize your own jewelry. Let's get started. Everybody, I'm hoping the lighting works okay. I'm having a lot of sunlight come through my blinds, so I'm hoping you can see all right. So here's a finished pearl one that I did. Here's the clasp on the end. I'm going to show you how I make this. I also did another kind using a thread with some gemstones. Here is the plastic insert, and this one I have attached with a lobster clasp. So ideally you can use different kinds of clasps. It depends on what you're looking for. So here's a couple ones that I did. I will show you different ways of tying off cording or wire, so that way you can do what you feel comfortable with. They will have different levels of security, strength-wise probably. So I'm using this one on my cell phone right now, and it seems to be working really well. Like, I'm intentionally swinging my phone around to see how well it does, and so far so good. And then I added a fun little sterling silver A charm I got from Hallstatt Jewelry. And I have it on there, so I have a cute little personalized charm. But I was thinking you can make these with a birthstone and an initial charm, so you could customize it for yourself or for a friend for, you know, birthday or Christmas present. I do have a bunch of these available. If you want to buy a bunch of them, they're on Amazon. I will have kits also available in my store where it comes with this and all of the beads that you need to create one for yourself. And I'll post some different varieties of beads and stones, so that way you have fun things to choose from. Another one here is I just attached directly a keychain ring, so that way if you wanted to like have a house key at the bottom, you could do that, or you can have beads and a house key. So it gives you some different options of ways to connect to your phone. Here's another one. This is one I actually took off of one of my keychains. It's just a lever. I thought this was fun. That way you could just actually put keys on there, and if you want, you could just have a full attachment to it. So there's lots of different options that you can do. Okay, so for starters, I'm going to do a wired one, and then I will do the Lanesta cording one. So there's a couple, again, different options for this one. You could use a large hole bead, which would give you flexibility to use a thicker wire. I am using a 1.5 or 2 millimeter drill hole center bead. These were actually smaller, so I'm using a thinner wire on this one. I'm using 0.18. When I mean 0.18, what I mean is this top number. This is 0.24 inches. I'm using 0.18, which is thinner, so that way it fit through the pearls. But this seems strong enough to me so far. But to advise others, I'm saying use a thicker wire just in case you don't yell at me if for some reason it breaks. So this is a thicker wire. This is the 0.24 or 0.61 millimeter from Bead. It's a nice thick wire. It will support heavier beads too. And this takes number 2 or 3 crimp or 2 or 3 crimp tube from Bead. I'm out of crimp tubes presently, so I'm just using the round crimps. And so for extra security for myself, I put the 2 round crimps with crimp covers on each side, so I had a little bit extra crimp on there to secure it. And, you know, if you're not swinging it around a whole bunch, you'll be fine. It's mostly there to just help you not drop your cell phone, or in my case, just kind of wear it if I'm carrying a grocery bag, for example, which should be fine. If you're not like throwing it and dropping like 50 pounds on it, you know, support wise, I think you'll be all right. So what I do is, let's get some wire, is again, you want to find beads that will fit through your wire. So if you're using a thicker wire, you need to make sure your bead will have a large enough drill hole in the center. The other thing is, if you want a 7.5 inch bracelet, for example, I would cut 9 inches, because you need to have enough space to roll the wristlet over your arm and your hand and kind of like lay there and not fall off on its own when you drape. And also you want to have enough room to be able to get it on and off. So for me, this works great. It hasn't fallen off on its own. I cut 9 inches. If that doesn't work for you, try 8.5. But before I end the second loop, I just did the one side out of beads, and then I just kind of put it around and kind of held it with my hand like this and took it off to kind of see how long I needed it. And then when I figured out, okay, this is the right length, then I ended it with the 2 crimps and finished it off. So, all right. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, you know, send me a message on the social media or send me an email, whichever one is fine. Okay, so I cut 9 inches and I'm trying to figure out what beads I want to use. Oh no, I'm already skipping ahead a little bit. So I'm going to go with crimping on this one. The next one, like I said, I'll show you cording where you knot it. That way you have, you can go through both. I've seen the super thick stretchy cord for this too. I'm always hesitant to use stretch cord for a cell phone, even how thick it is, because if it's not knotted properly or for some reason it snaps, I wouldn't want to launch my cell phone somewhere by accident. So I would pick something that it might drop if it breaks down next to you versus, you know, potentially snapping and flying off or whatever. Okay, I'm looking for a wire guard. I'm sorry, I'm almost out. I need to go buy some. By the way, if you're like wondering how I organize, it's kind of messy, but this works great. I got these little organizing things that look like this. Let me zoom out a little bit at Hobby Lobby. They're really cool. They come in a 3-pack. I think these work fantastic for holding findings and spacer beads. Also, if you're using a thicker wire, you'll want to get a 4mm wire protector, not a 3. I usually use a 3mm wire protector and a 3mm crimp cover and a #1 crimp bead that's round, or a crimp tube from Bead. So, all right. That one I found is too small. Oh, here we go. This one's too big, I think. Okay, here we go. Let's see if these work. If not, I might have to switch out to a thinner wire just to demonstrate, but we'll see. Okay, this will fit. Here we go. And Bead also has wire protectors, wire guards available as well. Here we go. Pull this up. And when you're using these, you want to pinch the ends together at the base and then pull your wire through nice and tight. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm using 2 crimps on this one for added security. So just how I want to do it. So I know I have extra on there. Okay. Here we go. This way. Okay. So anytime you're using 2 crimps, you'll want to make sure you have enough space between them for when you crimp down. That one's not big enough. I'll demonstrate this one first. So you want to leave a little bit of space at the base of your wire protector here for your tool to go through and crimp down without crushing the bottom leg portions of these. So using the back of the tool, you press down. Then you want to rotate off to the side and use the front part of the tool like this and crimp down. And you'll have a cute little sandwich look. And that is crimped down and it's nice and tight. So then I'm going to add my crimp cover. So I did this a little differently last night and found out I was kind of running out of room. So I want to do it like this from here on out. So I'm going to do my crimp first and crimp cover. And I just kind of pinch that down. And I'm going to cut off the excess wire here. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that. I'm crimping over it. Yeah, let's do that. Never mind. Okay. Here we go. I have a bigger crimp here. I have like different size crimps kind of mixed together. Here we go. So sometimes when you buy a different brand of crimp, they'll be a different size. Even though they both say 1mm, they'll be slightly different. So I'm going to crimp this one again, but leave a little bit of space between the crimp cover base and the crimp. That way I have enough room for my crimp cover to line up next to it. Crimp those down. If they're too close together, they won't lay down next to each other and not leave enough room for your tool to go. So I'm gonna add another crimp cover, like so, and crimp this down, and go down. Okay, so now I have 2 crimps and 2 crimp covers. I hope you guys can see that all right. And now I'm ready to bead. Okay, and again, so this is a thicker wire, so you'll need to make sure that whatever bead you use, you have a large enough drill hole. So, and it's fun is you can add ceramic beads to this, you can add glass beads to this, you can add gemstones to this. It's totally whatever you want to do, or you can do mixed colors. Right now, for fun, I'm just going to do mixed colors. I have a bucket of beads here that I haven't had time to sort through yet. Yay. So might as well use this since we're just kind of doing a demonstration. So I'm going to do different colors of beads. We'll make it kind of like a rainbow or something. And I hope wherever you are having a wonderful day. Let's go on the side. No, that one's kind of ugly. I want to have it look pretty. Kind of like, ooh, there's a pretty color pearl. Will that fit? No. Almost. All right, so yeah, you'll want to make sure that you have stones at work. That's great. Also, because it's going to be around your wrist, I'm thinking you want to have a smoothed bead. So something that's rounded or curved, because if it's laying on your wrist, at least for me, I don't have anything pointy or jaggedy poking into me with the weight of a cell phone. So I would just use beads that are like rounded and smoothed out. That way it's comfortable. Okay, so you just add beads going all the way around. I'm gonna see if I can close my blinds. I'm sorry, I'm just not crazy about the way the light is coming in. I love the sunlight, but not when you're making videos. Okay, that is much better. Whew. Okay, now I can see. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna back up again just in case. Here are the 2 crimps with the 2 crimp covers at the end of the wire protector. And for this one, like I said, we're just gonna add some beads, and you want to go to your desired length as well. So I would say, again, if you want like a 6-inch bracelet, try a 7.5-inch long wristlet. Just do like what feels right for you lengthwise, but before you close it off, just make sure to put it around your wrist. Engage. Okay, this will be a great fit. Now I can wrap it up. Or if it doesn't work out, give it to a friend for a Christmas present. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna call it like right here. That way we're not here on, video for 14 hours while I add beads. So pretending that this is a completed bracelet. I found another bead. I'm like, oh, I can add this one too. Hey. Okay. So pretend this is like 8 inches long, all right? Or, however long you need it. Okay, so we've got our rounded beads. We have our end here. So now what I'm going to take my wire end and add the finishing on this as well. Here we go. So we're going to take our crimp beads again, go up through our wire protector on this side. And finish this back through. And again, anytime you crimp, you want to make sure you have a little bit of wire space so it can bend around your wrist. If it's too tight, like if you've tightened your wire and your crimp too tight, the bracelet will want to back up on the beads and not want to fold around your wrist. You want to make sure you have a little bit of room so it will go around your wrist, but not too much room so you don't have like a gap of wire hanging out. And it's sometimes kind of a balance. Okay, you also want to leave enough room for your tool to go at the base of your wire protector feet here. Crimp down, and then add your wire guards. Cut this down and add our crimp cover. Okay, now if I did a full 8 inches, I would be adding 2 crimp covers and 2 wire, 2 crimp covers, 2 crimps, because you want to have 2 on each side. That way you have extra security with the crimps. You know, if one fails, you have a backup crimp. That way your item doesn't break while you're carrying around your cell phone. Okay, so we have our thing. So how we end it is this. We have our two ends. I'm gonna grab my 6mm jump ring here, put one here. I'm gonna grab the other end, put one here. This guy is good. All right, so we got our two ends together here. Now, depending on what kind of ending you want, you can add this kind of a clasp, which I had. So I'm gonna grab another one, or you can put a big lobster clasp on. Just depends on what you wanna use. I would, you can also add a jump ring. So here's a great big lobster clasp I got. This is like 12mm. You can add one of these on there. That way it can just clip on and off really easily. Take this off. Okay, so it just depends on what you feel comfortable with. I find these are a little bit more durable and are easier to work with, although it's similar latch system. The lobster clasps don't seem to me to want to cooperate as long. So if it was me, I'd be doing this one. If you're doing this on your own, if I have a kit, I mean, my kit will be available, I'll be doing this one. These are just kind of like a, I'm not even sure what they're called exactly. Let me see what the technical name for it is. Clasp, swivel, spinning, spring, clip. Okay, so I'd go with clasp, swivel. So swivel clasp. Let me open this one. I got this one from Shipwreck Beads. So this one spins. If you want it to spin, if you don't have to. This one does not spin. So it's just, I guess, a clasp too. Here you go. So if you wanted it to spin, you could. It's up to you. Anyways, there's lots of different options. I would just look for a clasp online if you want to do this on your own. And I'd probably use one like this. So these are closed off. You will have to connect to them with another ring, just so you know, or thread, but I will be using this one for the cording. So I can demonstrate how to tie off directly to one of those. I know I have another one of those silver ones. All right. Well, for right now, we'll just use a lobster clasp to call this one good. And I don't have another cell phone at the moment. I need to see if I can go find one so I can demonstrate how to open and close this in a cell phone. Where did it? Here we go. So again, you're just going to use the two, put your lobster clasp on there, put your other ring on there, and close it. And you have your base to connect to your cell phone. So grab a blank one, just like this. It'll just go through here, and you're done, and you're ready to go. So there's that one. One off. This was another one. I was just guessing, just come up with ideas like if you wanted to add a toggle bar or something, another way to decorate it. You could do that. It'll make it a little bit longer, but it'll decorate it up a little bit. But that's an option too, is using a toggle bar. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate how to do the Linistic cording. Okay, so I'm using 1.5mm cording. You can use a 2. You can the thing is, actually I don't want to use this one. The thing is you need to make sure that your beads will fit through the cording. So this is a light waxed cording. You can see the brand in there, Lanasta. They're sold at Lima Beads. It's a great cording. They have a ton of colors and consistencies. What I mean by that is like fiber texture. So some are waxed, some aren't. And they have lots of great options. So for this one, it's waxed. It's kind of like an Irish cording in a way, which I prefer waxed. It's easier to work with and it holds onto your beads a little bit more securely, and it keeps your ends from fraying, which I really appreciate anytime I'm beading. It's really annoying when it, frays and comes apart and splits and you have to keep cutting it down in order to get beads on there. So I'm just gonna grab a ring. You wanna have an open jump ring? This is 9mm. You could go up to like 12, for example. Depends on how big you want for the base. I think my other one I used was a 12mm. So you just want to go through the base of your insert here close off your ring. You want to make sure the ring is closed all the way with no gap, because otherwise the cording will find that space and will fall through that center, and opening up the ring to get the cording loop back on might work. Sometimes it collapses and it's a little bit more difficult to get off, but that's one option. And you can just bead from there directly, and then you can have your hook. If you use a smaller hook, go onto there. I'm giving you different options here. So like pretend you just want to use a small lobster clasp. You can have the ring directly go on here, have your clasp on here, and then have it beaded and hang on there. So you can swap them out if you have different colors you want to use. If you want to just use it on the ring directly, just giving one. What I mean by that is you have this clasp, you get it, you just have it on there directly, like so, and then you bead on this one. So this one will only be for the one, which means you'll have, you'll need to order extra clasps if you want to swap out colors. So if you want to be able to do different colors, you like take this off, for example, and you can swap this out with different ones. If you want one on there directly, you can do that. So for this one, we're just going to go directly onto there. So, all right, I have my cording. I'm going to take both strands together like this. I'm going to slide it through my ring and back through the center of my cording, like so. Okay, so this is one option if you have extra large beads like wood beads. Then you can bead it on one strand, go back through, tie it off up through here, and you're done. If you're using thinner beads, you want to just have one strand available. So I'm going to take this part off. I actually thought of something else last night, so I made mine with the 2 strands beaded and cut it. I do not like to have the knot hanging out off the middle of stones. I think it looks kind of icky. So the other idea I had was having a large bead kind of like cover up the knot and everything, and then you go through with your cording and then go back up through and tie it off. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start out with, this will be my like tie bead I'll have up here, and I'll hide my cording knot. So I'm going to keep this separated, add beads, and then I'm going to come up through here and tie a knot and hide it, hopefully as best as I can, under the ceramic bead. So I'm going to do this really quick. So I'm going to pull out some pink beads for this one. And this is really cute Gaia ceramic bead. It's pink and cream in the center. It's at Lima Beads, or you can go to her website, GaiaBeads.com, I think is what it is. I love her stuff. She's amazing. All right, so we will have this one be a rose quartz. Let's see what fits. So, all right, perfect. This is like a good 2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter. Actually, this looks like a 2 millimeter drill hole. Okay, so I'm using 6 millimeter rose quartz on this one, and I'm using 1.5. I'm thinking lightly waxed Lanesta cording through Lima Beads as well. If you are looking for a certain type of cording with the size and color, just email them. They can tell you what they have available and help you out with that. So again, I don't want to knot this, even though you kind of do so your beads don't go flying off. I'm just going to leave extra cording at the end so I can tie my knot with that. And I'm going to do 8.5 inches on this one to start out with and see how it goes. And again, before I finish it, I'm going to slide it on and off my wrist to just make sure it is long enough to slide over and not slide off on its own. There we go. And what's nice about making this for yourself is you can customize your stones or your beads, colors. If you want to personalize it for a friend, like I said, with a birthstone and an initial, it allows you to kind of make some more for what you're looking for. Here we go. And I bet if you could find a large needle, let me see if I have one. Beadalon has large needles that open and close, claspable needles, but I think I'm out. I need to order some. I just have CB needles. Crud. All right, well, I need to order some. Yeah, if you can find like the Beetle and collapsible needle, this will make it go a lot faster. Potentially, I mean, you still have to string beads on there, but anyways, we will do the best we can with what we got, and I will try to go fast. You have to like rotate everything though around and find the drill hole and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, this will be pretty. It looks like it'll be a light, nice light pink. You know, like I said, I'm using rose quartz on this one with the pink ceramic bead at the top. So if you go online and find a ceramic bead color you like, you can customize it with a matching gemstone. And this particular way I'm showing you, that's not wired. This will be more secure. It's just a different way of doing it, but the cording will hold it in place probably a little bit better than wired will, but wired can potentially give you more options stone-wise. Okay, so this is about 7 inches, so I'm gonna look at it before I do anything. Be like, okay, I'm gonna kind of hold these into place, see how long I have. Gotta grab it, I know it can be a pain. Okay, yeah, I need a little bit more room. So like, it's long enough as a bracelet, but not long enough to go over my wrist, so I need to add a little bit more. And then I can tie this off and call it good. And thanks for hanging out with me today. Appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my YouTube video, for watching my channel, for subscribing, all the good stuff. It means a lot to me. You don't have to be here. You choose to be here and spend your time with me, and that means a lot because time is valuable. So thank you. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. I'll put this in place like this. I mean, you could tie it in a knot, I suppose, if you wanted to make sure they stay still. It's not going to hurt anything. I will do that. Just leave enough room on the end so you can tie a knot. That way these beads stop moving everywhere. I'm going to tie a couple over each other. That way the beads don't fall off. Here we go. And here we go. What are we looking at? Oh, that is almost long enough. I'm going to add one more bead and I'm good. Sweet. I don't even need this much cording, actually. Get rid of some of that. Okay. Sweet. All right. So I have long enough. I'm going to measure this here really quick, figure out what I'm looking at. All right. This is just over 8.5 inches. Literally. Oh my gosh, that cracks me up. I literally winged that. I said 8.5 and I just made it 8.5 by guessing. That cracks me up. I love when I do that. I'll cut wire and be like, it's about 4 inches. Measure it. It is 4 inches. That's funny. All right. So I have both my ends. I'm going to bring them together and I'm going to go up. I want these to be equal too. I don't want to have too long of a cord. That's annoying. I'm going to trim these so they're the same length just because it's annoying to not have even ends. Okay, so we're going to go up through the ceramic bead with both strands like this. We're going to bring the stone up underneath it like so. All right, so again, just to make sure, yeah, it's going to fit just fine. I just want to make sure it fits before I knot everything off and close it off, because once it's done, it's done. A little bit more than I'm going to deal with. Honestly, I'm going to add one more because I only have just that little bit of extra room so you don't have to fight it. Okay, that's better. All right, I'm going to go back up through here and do this. Okay, so now we have our strand going up through the mean ceramic. Okay. I know I'm gonna bang that with my elbow and have beads flying everywhere. All right, so I'm gonna go up through my ring here with the 2 strands together. Like so. And bring it back down. Through my around, make bead here. Like so. I'm gonna pull this nice and tight, bring those around, okay? I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna loop it all the way around. Bring that cording back up through here. And tie a knot. And you wanna make sure you're up and over your beads because I'll try to get on it. And you wanna pull it really nice and tight, really tight, because you don't wanna have a gap in your thread when this falls down where you have like a big bunch of thread there. You can do this a couple of times. Make sure that all that cording stays in place and pull a knot and get that really nice and tight, like so. And then you can bring that ceramic bead down over the knot and it'll cover it like that so you don't have a knot showing. And just because I want to, I'm gonna do one more knot like this because it's a different knot. It'll help secure the previous ones. You don't have to glue this. There's cording wax on this that to me acts kind of like a glue. I don't know why. It kind of helped. As you mess with the wax, it'll kind of bunch up around and fill in the empty spaces. All right, I'm gonna trim that. Sweet. And then this can drop down and cover up your cording tail and your knot and everything else. You can just tuck it in there and then move your beads around because the beads can help fill up. If there's any slack on the cording there, just move your beads around. And there you go. You have a cute wristlet with cording, and then you can just slide it on your wrist and slide it off. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. And then when you want to move it around, you know, switch colors, whatever, just take it on and off your end. And if it comes out around small, it's fine. You can just bump it back underneath there. There you go. And there you go. So that is a wristlet using cording. Hey, and a ceramic bead in the top. And you got some rose quartz on there. Sweet. So you have this way. Again, this is a little bit more secure. You can pull on that. Then you have this way. Again, I'm pulling on this too. It's not breaking. You just want to make sure you got your crimps down all the way. So crimp tubes would be what I would use personally. Before a round crimp, they're longer, they're more secure. I just need to go buy some crimp tubes. But if you don't have any, this is working for me, but I think the tubes would probably be better, to be honest. All right, so now you've made both of your inserts. Yay! And I'm gonna pause this to go get my cell phone to demonstrate again, just in case I didn't yet, how you put it in and out of your cell phone. So how this works is you take the base of your cell phone and unhook this. You want to put this in first through your slider. Slide it through the hole here. Add your phone. And your phone will sit perfectly flat in here. It's not too thick or anything. In this case, I have to add it back. So you have this poking out the base. You just take your clip, and clip it on and off, and you're ready to go for the day. That's all you gotta do. So it inserts in there really easily. It will lay flat. It won't get in the way of your phone. And when it's in there, you can push this out of the way and your phone will still charge. So this doesn't interrupt your phone charging or your phone use or anything. It just hangs out there by itself. And that's it.